mighty verse unrolled, but in such humbler strains as may be seen by changes run on a fantastic theme.
My tale is ancient, but the sense is new, replete with monstrous fictions, yet half true. And if you fall to the story's done, I promise much instruction and some fun.
King Arthur and his court were blithe and gay, in high-towered Camelot on Christmas Day. For all the table round were back again, at peace with God and their fellow men.
The revelry was hushed in tranquil ease. The warriors grouped themselves by twos and threes about the dames and damsels of the court, and chattered careless words of small import.
But in an alcove, unobserved, apart, young Gawayne sat with Lady Elfinhart. In Arthur's court no goodlier knight than he wore a shirt of mail or Cupid's panoply. And Elfinhart to Gawayne's eager eyes of all heaven's treasures seemed the goodliest prize.
In Gawayne's corner, as the shades grew thicker, 4 eyes waxed brighter and 2 pulses quicker. 10 minutes more of quiet talk unbroken, and heaven alone can tell what might be spoken.
So ye have feasted well, my knights, this day, and filled your hearts with revel and play. But to my mind this day is basely spent, which passes by without comment. Of some bright deeds of arms and chivalry, we rust in indolence, as well not be, as be the minions of an idle court, where all is gallantry and girlish sport. Of some bold adventure, let our thoughts devise to stir our courage and to cheer our eyes.
And lo, while yet he spoke, from far away, in a thick shroud of departed day, upon the frosty air of evening born, came the faint challenge of the fairy horn.
What was that I heard?
I don't know.
Oh, dear me. It must be.
The ladies of the palace looked faint fear, dreading some perilous adventure near.
For peril can the bravest spirits move, when threatening not ourselves, but those we love. The Lady Elfinhart clapped her hands in glee. In sooth, no sentimentalist seemed she.
Now thanks to Gawayne, oh what fun! Succor us, save us, else we are undone. Show us the prowess of your arms this night. I never saw a tilt by the candlelight.
Gaily she spoke, and seemed all unconcerned, and yet a curious watcher might have learned, from the slight quaver in her laughter free, to doubt the frankness of her flippancy.
Gawayne, bewildered, looked the other way, and wondered what she meant, for in that day, the ready wit of man was under muzzle, and woman's heart was still an unsolved puzzle.
I, Gawayne, in valor next to none, wish her heart had been a tenderer one. My sword is out for any foe on earth, and yet to face death for a lady's mirth seems scarce worthwhile. What honor bids all due, but I would have liked to see a tear or two.
While thus he pondered, came a sudden burst of high-pitched fairy hornbills, like the first, but nearer, clearer, deadlier than before, blown seemingly from just outside the door.
The casement shook, the taper lights all trembled, the bravest knight's dismay was all ill-dissembled, and as all sprang with one accord to win, their swords and shields stern combat to begin, the great door shut their bolts and opened slowly in.
This is Arthur's court. My noble lord, you said just now you felt a trifle bored, and wished, instead of dancing, feasting, floating, your gallant warriors might be exerting their puissance upon some worthier thing. The wish, my lord, was worthy of a king. It pleased me. Here I am, and I intend to serve your fancy as a faithful friend. I bring adventure, no hard, tedious quest, but merely what I call a merry jest. On some good night, the daggers of you all, swing this my battle axe, and let it fall on whatsoever point of me he will. I will abide the blow and hold me still, but let him, just a 12-month from this day, come to me, if by any means he may, and let me, if I live, pay back my best, as he paid me. What think you of the jest?
The jest seemed fair indeed, but nonetheless no knight showed any undue forwardness to seize the offer. Some with laughter free danced it aside, while others carelessly strolled to the farthest corners of the hall, as if they had not heard his words at all, and whistled with an air of idle ease, or studied figures within tapestries.
Not so, Sir Gawayne, vexed in mind he stood, with downcast eyes, and knew not what he would. Trained in the school of chivalry to prize his honor as the light of his dear eyes. He held his life, his fortunes, everything, in sacred trust for knighthood and his king. And in the battlefield or tilting yard, he met his foe full-fronted and struck hard.
But now it seems a foolish thing to throw one's whole life to the fortune of a blow. True valor breeds not a braggart font. True honor takes no shame from idle taunt. So let this reserve, if he wants to, scoff.
Why should I have his head cut off?
While thus Sir Gawayne, wrapped in thought intense, debated honor versus common sense, the stranger knight was casting his green glance around the circling throng, until by chance he met the ladies of Elfinhart.
And did she flush? And did the Green Knight start? Surely a quiver twinkled in each eye. But what of that? It need not signify. Beneath his glance a brave man well might flush. What wonder then that a fair maid should blush?
Sir Gawayne, had he seen the stranger wink, and seen the lady blushing, you may think, might have been spared a most unhappy lot. Perhaps you're right, but peradventure not.
I give you but a hint. Perhaps the art of narrative is holding back a part. And if without reserve I gave my best in the first canto, who would read the rest?
And if this conjurer are blessed, with no acceptance of his bitter jest, how then in days after shall Arthur's court confront the calumny and foul report of idle tongues? If God grant that I may not be blind, where honor lights the way, for to my mind true honor bids us shun the devil's den, to fight God's battles in the world of men. Who takes up this challenge, I doubt will rue it.
I'd like to see you do it.
She laughed a gay laugh, but by hard constraint, then turned and hid her face, all pale and faint, as one might be who stabs and turns the knife, and the warm heart of one more dear than life. She turned, and Gawayne saw not, but he heard, and felt his heartstrings tighten at her word.
Nay, lady, if you wish it, I will try. Be your least wish my will, although I die. Yet one thing, if I may, I fain would ask. Before I take this venture, if this task, proven to be faithful as it threatens, do you care?
Why ask me this? Perhaps you do not dare.
Lightly she laughed, and scoffing tossed her head, yet spoke as one who knew not what she said, with random words and with quick-taken breath, then turned again ere that same look of death should steal upon her and betray her heart, despite all stratagems of woman's art.
And Gawayne heard but saw not, and the night descended on him, and his face grew white. With grief and passion when all else is lost, the brave man gives life too, nor counts the cost.
I dreamt and dreaming, and took for truth what was the sweetest seeming. My wakening eyes find not this life to keep. I take this venture, and so back to sleep.
By this the stranger had at last become tired of long waiting, and of sitting dumb upon his charger. So with the greenest leer he vent his impatience in a sneer.
Is this indeed the glorious table round? And is its glory not but empty sound? Braggarts, I put your bluster to the test, and find you quail before a new guest.
Forbear, for by my sword Excalibur I swear, whate'er thou be shall not carry hence, unscathed the memory of thine insolence. Such a jest as thine please not, yet even so I take thine axe, kneel thou and take my word.
Across the green eyes features that were seen to pass a fleeting shade of deeper green, whether of disappointment or resentment none knew, but straight a smile of bright contentment followed, as through the throng of day's beholders he saw Sir Gawayne thrust his sturdy shoulders.
The stranger winked at Elfinhart once more, well pleased, and Gawayne knelt down on the floor.
A boon, I pray thy Lord and King, if ever yet these hands have served thee. Hear my last request, and let me adventure this mad monster's jest.
Sir Gawayne, let Sir Gawayne take the bow! Sir Gawayne!
Sire, leave this matter to lesser man.
I yield.
And so the merry jest began.
And now I tell you, place it where you choose to strike your blow. Strike on. I'll not refuse. Head, shoulders, chest, or waist, I will wreck. Where shall it be? What say you?
In the neck.
Ready, but remember to come the 25th of next December and take from me the self-same blow again.
And where in all the lands might I find you then?
We'll speak of that, please, when you've struck your blow. For if I can't speak, then you need not go.
He chuckled softly to himself, then turned and waited for the blow, all unconcerned.
And so the knights and ladies of the court, they pushed and craned their necks to see the sport.
But Lady Elfinhart stayed not. She went into the alcove where we saw her first, and laid her sweet face in her arms, and burst into, but none could tell, unless by peeping, whether she shook with laughter or with weeping.
My best congratulations on that stroke, Sir Gawayne. It was delicately done. Our merry little jest is well begun. But look, you fail me not this day next year. At the green chapel by the murmuring mere, I will await you when the sun sinks low, and pay you back full measure, blow for blow.
Once more the fairy horn called, clear and shrill. It died upon the wind, and all was still.
What will become of Sir Gawayne, do you wonder?
Indeed, we must now leave you to ponder.
Is this a tragedy or a comedy?
Farce, epic, drama, or just poetry?
This true tale should be told in fuller measure.
Come bleak December and its wintry weather.
We hoped you liked this scene, and please remember